Neptune, the god of imagination, is going to back into the sign of Pisces, and he'll connect with Saturn, the god of what becomes real. Reality and imagination together are a powerful combination. And we're going to see this in effect all the way through till February of 2026. And I want to give you 2 quotes to ponder. Astrologer Carolyn Casey, in her discussion of Neptune, has said, Neptune, the god of imagination lays the tracks for reality to follow. Saturn is reality. And Stephen Forrest, an amazing evolutionary astrologer, has also said of Saturn, Saturn does not ask us to give up our dreams, only to make them real. And Stephen Forrest was born with a Neptune-Saturn conjunction on his ascendant. I'll say that again. Saturn does not ask us to give up our dreams, only to make them real. Saturn is what is real, tangible, touch, knock on wood. It's the apparent reality in the simulation. And that's why Saturn is the lord of karma and time. But Neptune transcends that. Neptune is literally oceanic consciousness, enlightenment, oneness, compassion, empathy, and imagination. And when the rock hard solid Saturn and Neptune team up, it is about to make your dreams real using the power of your imagination. Your power is a God-given gift. Did God make man in the Bible in his image or his imagination? I'm going to recommend everybody here go read Neville Goddard's book, The Awakened Imagination. I'll leave it at that. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, we're about to talk about this all for your sign as we look at this story of October 22nd, 2025 through to February of 26 and how Neptune's backtrack into the sign of Pisces, where he has been in that sign for you since 2011, is going to do a grand finale. And with the support of Lord Saturn also finishing up a 3-year stint in Pisces, it's a big deal. You know, these are 2 areas of your life. What you wish to have happen, your dreams, your imaginings, your fantasies, is meeting the God of reality. And if you open yourself up to the possibility that you can imagine and then make it so, then you're going to love this transit. And if some of you think, oh, affirmations don't work, my manifestations don't work, they do. They really do. But sometimes we just overlay our negative fears, our negative thought forms over the good stuff that we really want to create in our reality. As we are co-creative beings, we are connected to the divine imagination, each and every one of us. So welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. If you're new here, give me a like, a subscribe. We're going to dive into your sign today. We're going to talk about how to handle this transit that is October 22nd through to about February 14th, just February of next year. And all that matters about the idea of it is you're not going to get it again in a lifetime. It's not coming back. It's first in a lifetime, once in a lifetime, in this hookup of Lord Saturn and Neptune in a grand finale through until next February. So if you want to create your reality, if you want to make it real, this is your time. So I'm going to explain a little bit more in a minute about the idea of this, because I also want to talk about Saturn's role in this story. But before I do, if you would like to learn astrology, by the time you watch this video, my Sky Reader class started yesterday. I don't know that I'm letting anyone in late. It's just complicated. So, but if it's still open, you'll see the description box below that I left it open for a few days. And that's a 6-week class to time your best life and be your own astrologer. But more importantly, Archetypal Astrology, friend of mine and colleague, Renn Butler. I love this book. We're going to talk about, that's where I got the great quote by Stephen Forrest when we're talking about the Neptune-Saturn merger of energies. Yeah, I'm going to read a bit from his book first, and we're going to do your sign. If you want to learn archetypal astrology with him, he does an amazing job of teaching it. It's a 6-month course. It starts October 4th. And if you're interested, check it out. He's giving, and he'll probably let you enroll late. He's giving my people a discount code that no one else gets. I don't know what it is. It's a significant discount from the advertised price. And so just say Lori sent you, and he'll work out a deal for you. So go check it out. Link to Renn's course is in the description box. I studied with him in 2020, understood how it was dreaming the sky. The sky was dreaming me, the circumstances of my birth matrix based on my perinatal matrix and the planets connected to that, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. And by the way, archetypal astrology is looking at the archetypal energies of how planets connect together. It's its own discipline, and it's amazing. Okay, now, you know, guys, I've been waiting for this all of my life. I'm 63. I've been waiting all of my life to get Saturn and Neptune together in my Pisces house. Why do I love this so very much? Because it won't be back in our Pisces house in this lifetime. Because Pisces is the imaginal realm of the intuitive and the imaginal, and the place where our fantasies and imagination is the most super powered, but also our spiritual life, our spirituality, how we can really lean into that as well. And having these two finish up this Pisces story, this is exciting. And, Neptune can only be in Pisces for roughly 11 years or so, and 13 years or so, and only can do that once every Neptune cycle, 160 odd years, 164 years. So that's why it is first in a lifetime, once in a lifetime, that Neptune is working so precisely with Saturn. Now, I want to mention briefly Saturn before I start with the all signs. Saturn is like the guy with the grounding stick. Let's ground this thing in reality. He's the one who's going to make it real. He's Mr. Nuts and bolts, tangible, electrons moving and atoms, and this is what it seems to be, right? He doesn't get down so much with the quantum, physics stuff. That would be more Neptunian and Uranian. So he's like nuts and bolts reality. And what I love here is that Saturn entered into Pisces back in March of 2023. He does that every 29 and a half years. He enters Pisces and spends almost 3 calendar years there, 2.5 years in terms of the actual time because of retrogradation in and out, but roughly in our calendar years, it usually lasts about 3 years. So in the spring of 23, he entered into Pisces, the reality maker, and he leaves in February of 2026. There's your 3 calendar years. And the lesson we're all learning there is Saturnian, and you have one whole sign pie slice of your 12 pie slice chart that represents Pisces. For me, it's my money house as an Aquarius rising. I structured my money, Saturn, with Saturn's help into an incorporation in 2024. So I didn't have to spend all my money giving it to a government that I think is terrible. Actually, I don't like my Canadian government, but that's a sidebar. And there's ways in which we're all learning these harder lessons of structure and form and reality and containment and boundaries and wisdom and sage-like knowledge and wisdom that Saturn can offer us as he's been moving through Pisces since March of 2023. And now Saturn is working more intensely with Neptune. Neptune entered Pisces, okay, that same place in your chart, back in the end of 2011. And so here he's getting ready to do his grand finale. You can consider the possibility that as of March of 2023, each one of us has been working with Neptune and Saturn in the same sign. We call that co-present. And indeed, that means we have been trying to build a reality through imagination, through dreaming, through trance states, through the imaginal realms. Again, read Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard. And it is literally now, as these two planets are retrograding and holding hands. So basically, Neptune entered into Aries to test the waters back in late March of 2025, and Saturn followed him a few months later. And Saturn retrograded back into Pisces, and now Neptune's joining him. So what I'm trying to say, imagine you're holding hands okay, Saturn and Neptune are like, we got to go ahead and do some pioneering in Aries. And Neptune and Aries can unfortunately look like holy wars, religious wars. And we're seeing a bit of that in the Middle East right now, aren't we? Anyone shout out Greater Israel? That's in a religious war. And so basically you end up with a kind of like an impulse to go to the new fire territory where Neptune will be for 13 years and Saturn will be for 3 years, and they're going to work together, but they're not going to hold hands. Because Saturn's moving too quickly. And so Neptune won't be co-joining forever, this energy of Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. I'll show you the sky in a sec. So this is your last grand finale, last chance saloon on consolidating a dream wish come true, using your imagination to lay the reality tracks for reality to follow, right? Lays the tracks like a train for reality to follow. Because the next thing that happens is next February, and Saturn and Neptune will come together at 0 degrees Aries, and they will co-join there, and we'll have a flashpoint, okay, around the intensity of Aries, the sign of war, and what can be accomplished with those two planets. But right now, the key point I want to make is that I love the Piscean transcendent spiritual energy to work the magic of imagination and reality creation. And I want to give you guidance. So we're going to go through each separate sign. I'm going to show you the picture of the sky. This is a deck I chose to use today. I felt drawn to the Power Deck, The Cards of Wisdom by Lynn Andrews. Felt like the right deck for this topic to combine an oracle guidance with the astrology. Before I do, some of you are always asking me about what I'm wearing on my wrists. I wear Otter Spirit jewelry. It is my favorite. This is my selection that I handcrafted, but they make trios. These are all triple grade A gemstones. They make trios that are astrologically for each sign and different types for each sign, and mini beads or large beads. But I thought I'd share this with you because I chose the beads. They gave me like a selection, and you get 20% off with me. Check out my code below, Lunatic Astrology 20, I think it's what it's called, and you get 20% off all their products. The reason I want to share this with you today is I picked the bracelets without reading the meaning. I just used my intuition, and this is what I get. I get turquoise, right? I don't get swept away by inner storms. And it's good for healing wisdom and the throat chakra. And it's good for Aquarius, Pisces, Sag, and Aries. Now, I didn't know what turquoise could mean, but being swept away by inner storms has been an issue for me as a social media content provider, where I get very angry, frustrated, and disheartened by the trolls and other things. And then the second one, I absolutely didn't mean to know what it was going to be, was smoky quartz. I release negativity and find peace. And I've been wearing these bracelets now for about a week and a half. And someone said in my last video that came out, I'm recording for my Patreon community on Thursday, the 25th of September, that I seem very light and airy. I'm not going to say it's all because of the bracelets. I'd say I'm feeling like light and airy wants to come to me. So I get the bracelets for the light and airy, and then light and airy's happening. Anyway, and the key things are protection and intuition. And it's good for Capricorn, Scorpio, Sag, and Virgo. And it's the root chakra and solar plexus. See what I'm saying? And finally, I didn't know what this was at all when I ordered dragon, black and white dragon gate, like dragon agate. Sorry, guys, it's my keyboard. Let me move it. And literally, guys, I love this. I balance light and shadow within. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. And the things to do with that are Gemini, Aquarius, Sag, Leo, and the root chakra and the crown chakra are both activated through this one. Anyway, go check them out. Otter Spirit Jewelry. They got a beautiful website. I guess I can show it to you because I said I would share. They give me free jewelry to share it with you, and I don't make money on the sale. Also, I have given a lot of their jewelry as gifts, and I love that they give you a little felt bag for it and then a beautiful box, right? So with the card description that I showed you in each one. So what I love about it, it makes easy gift giving as well. But I'll just show it to you. I only share authentically what I enjoy. I'm never, what do you call it? Like a salesperson for the sake of it. That's not my MO. This is because I love their stuff, and it's been really useful in my life to sort of ground. I need to ground, guys. I'm a autistic spectrum disordered individual, and I find it helps me ground. So here you have Otter Spirit. There's a September collection, 30% off. You got some code for me as well. And this is just a beautiful site. And if you want to shop by Zodiac, you can just do that. Look, you shop by Zodiac. I think I could I'm going to go for the Leo sets, right? Isn't that cool? That's beautiful. I had this one. I was giving it to my sister. This is a Leo Strength mini pack. And I had it for a while. So now you get the gist of it. Go enjoy otterspirit.com and have some fun. Now let's get back to astrology. I know some people get irritated if I ever promote something. I'm not even promoting something I'm making money on. So I'm just promoting it because it's amazing. I'm getting free jewelry, but what the heck? I could make a lot more money if I was promoting, like, I don't know, something else. So have fun, go enjoy. Let's talk about the astrology. Let me put the chart up for you guys. Let's talk about each sign and how you're going to navigate this story, how you're going to use this time, use it or lose it. Really, it's kind of like November, December, January, and February. It's not even. It's like 3.5 months. I'll give you the exact dates as soon as I spit into the chart that you're going to be able to use or lose this thing to make your dreams real. And I love that Stephen Forrest quote. Saturn, I love that quote. Saturn does not ask us to give up our dreams, only to make them real. And Neptune lays the tracks for our imagination / Neptune lays the tracks for reality, the reality train to follow. No, these are great quotes. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me show you the chart. Let's start with Aries. I meant to tell you, we're talking about the asteroid Arawn, the Elven King or Fairy King, which is about a better world that's involved with this Neptune transit. Ceto, the monsters of the sea, and Cupido, falling in love. And these are going to be flavors of energies that come into the collective, but we'll also individually feel them. And so more like Ceto, the sea monster, trining Neptune from the star Sheet, could look like massive hurricanes, tidal waves, or floods and storms coming to us, unfortunately, October 22nd into maybe late November, December. Like I'm thinking hurricane season, that kind of thing. But in our individual lives, it's more like Neptune says, pull back your illusion about the thing you fall in love with. You know, Cupido, Cupid's arrow hitting us. Neptune's opposite Cupid's arrow. Cupido in the sky, the asteroid at the time of the slide back into Pisces. And we all get caught up in a kind of not just romantic infatuations, but also a kind of swooning in loveness, sometimes with things that aren't really real. And Neptune retrograde will pull back our illusions so that we're not smitten with inappropriate things, people, places, things, jobs, situations, and that we have a firmer grasp on, yes, Saturn, reality. That's the other thing I'm seeing with that. And I'll show you that sky as well. Arawn, like the Elf King, is about a better world of peace and food for everybody, and all things are working out wonderful, utopian energy. And I think that's important because we're all striving for that individually and collectively, something that looks like a better world. All right, so let's go ahead and show you the sky. Now, I am not going to do a lot of world astrology here. Many of you know that I decided that my world astrology now, all it's free with no ads, is over at the Substack Pluto Chronicles. That's my magazine newsletter. The newsletter is called the Pluto Chronicles. It's under Lunatic Astrology at Substack. Link in the description box below. Because then you can get all my world astrology written by me, and you don't into your inbox, and you don't have to worry about it out here, where I get not just trolls, but algorithmic suppression for political world event astrology. It's not working for this channel, guys. I've just finally given up the ghost, but I didn't get rid of it. You've got another place you can go, and it's free, and it's ad free over there as well. And you can come here for your all signs delineation. Then I have all signs content over in Substack too, but for free, you can get all the world astrology. Let's get started. You'll see, excuse me, it's making noise. I don't like that the bracelet is because I have to touch the mouse. Okay. So look, guys, this is not Otter Spirit. This is an old bracelet of mine. Look, you got to look. You got to notice something here before we get going, right? You got to notice that the asteroids are here, right? These are the asteroids. This little baby down here at 29 degrees of Capricorn, as Neptune ingresses into 29 degrees retrograde into Pisces over here, is Arawn, celestial body 15810, the Welsh king of the otherworld realm, the otherworld realm of Anwen, a world of delights. It's a Welsh king, eternal youth, absence of disease, abundant food, a paradise or a heaven. Okay, so it talks about this asteroid will activate our awareness of mortality, our desire to explore the larger picture beyond the apparent limitations of our life, and a longing for a better place. Okay, and so I want you to keep those archetypes in mind, because this is Neptune, and he's flowing to Arawn, and flowing in such a way that it's cooperative, and they're working together in the Capricorn, Gaudy, tangible, real world, with a dreamy, imaginal realm to make the world a better place free of suffering. Certainly, we could use a little of that in places where people are suffering, particularly in the war zones. And you'll also see that as Neptune enters 29 degrees, he's right away opposite this particular guy, Cupido, Cupid's arrow. Nothing wrong with Cupid's arrow. We always like to fall in love or fall in smitten, infatuated states of consciousness. However, because Neptune's retrograde, it can mean that if you are infatuated or smitten with a situation, person, or place that isn't true for you, this will help you roll back your illusions and your rose-colored glasses so that you can see what's really there. And you'll also notice that over here we have Ceto. This is the dangers of the sea. She's the mother of the gorgons and the sea serpents and the monsters of the sea. Ceto, C-E-T-O. And she is the mother of Medusa. She can represent dangers at sea, scary things connected to the oceans. Now, given that she's here and Neptune is on the star sheet, that's about natural disaster is usually connected to water. It would not surprise me if there is not a major storm somewhere near October 22nd. Okay. So you tell me if that comes true in the future. I'm recording this way early for you guys because the sky's so quiet. I had to jump into the future. There's not a lot else I could talk about. The North Node is volume up. It's the plus sign. This is the South Node. It's a negative. So this could be good. Maybe less falling in love with, infatuated. I'm infatuated with my job. I'm infatuated with this situation. I'm smitten by this person. Yeah, let it go. Moving towards this imaginal and make your dreams real. But because the North Node is a plus sign, it could increase the intensity around disasters and water for sure, as Neptune backtracks here. Finally, that's Saturn. He's at 26 degrees and he's now joining with or connecting within a 3-degree orb. It's called engagement with Neptune. They are forming a union of energy. They're talking to each other. Now, if I just was to stop this for a minute or cut out all of that mess I drew all over that, I told you that these two will come back together in the future. Let's put them into the future. Ready? I'm going to jump all the way to February. You're going to get dizzy. Close your eyes. Okay, so here we have them both at 00 degrees of Aries. This is happening on February 22nd. Around that time, just a little bit before, there'll be an exact conjunction. If I was to track us back by days, just for fun, you'll see that they're going to follow each other into the sign of Aries. First of all, boom. First of all, Neptune leads the way. He's a slower moving planet. Okay, when does he leave? All right, so Neptune slides over into Aries, January 26th. I said around early February, so there's exactly when. I probably should have done that. So January 26th, Neptune is no longer plying the waters of your imaginal realm of Pisces and no longer directly working to make dreams come true. So you've got really till the end of January. So we've got like all of November, December, and January to pull off a 3-month manifestation plan. Number 2, Saturn follows suit and then they come back together again, but they're no longer working together. There's a sign boundary between them in terms of traditional ancient astrology. Now they're together as Saturn is crossing the sign boundary February 14th. Yes, that's where I got that date. And by sometime near the 3rd week of February, they're perfectly joined. That's a whole story for next year's astrology. I can't wait to talk about it. Instead, what we're going to do today is your Aries through to Pisces. I probably should start with Pisces. Let's start with Pisces. We'll start with you. We'll start with Pisces, and then we'll go through the zodiac to Aries and all the way around. We're going to cover my guidance for you on how to archetypally use your imagination to lay the tracks for reality to follow using Neptune, and Saturn will put the reality in place. And we're going to let Saturn help us concretize, make real, take into form some visions, goals, and dreams that we might have. And if you don't have a goal or a dream, that's okay. Or a vision of something you deeply desire, give yourself the space to find it. Because Pisces is the natural 12th house of the zodiac. It can bring on full spiritual enlightenment, moksha enlightenment, full enlightenment. But it's also like the place of solitude, ashrams, gurus, and meditation and trance states. So allow for your mind to settle down over the next 2 or 3 weeks after this ingress, October 22nd, and find the thing that you wish to playfully manifest. You don't have to manifest $5 trillion overnight, but you might have something you would like to play with, right? I mean, anything will do. So I'm going to share something about me quickly. I had this, I was into Neville Goddard in early 2023 and the Awakened Imagination and all of his teachings. And I had a little, somehow, some way, that's one of his phrases, somehow, some way, the money I need comes to me. And I was kind of I was kind of broke. Okay. Like at the end, like mid 2022, I was at the bottom of my savings barrel. So I had a mantra: I am effortlessly, generously wealthy. I'm massively, effortlessly, generously wealthy. And somehow I just said that somehow, some way that'll happen. I'm not massively wealthy. I'm wealthy. I'm not effortlessly wealthy. I work hard for it. I'm generously wealthy. I can give people money when they need it. I can let them take classes for free. I have offered some free readings here and there over the years, last 2 years. Please don't email me for one right now. I'm not doing them. I'm busy with my creative projects, but I'm just saying, you can figure out a way that you feel good with your manifestation mantra, whatever it is, and playful and fun. And it should excite you. You should feel, I used to giggle. I'm effortlessly, massively, generously wealthy. I just treated my whole family to a hot cold plunge. Cost me a lot of money, like my kids and their spouses and stuff. And it was so much fun. It was a beautiful getaway at Whistler Mountain. And I covered all the expenses for the young people and 30s and 20s. And I could do that. I could be generously wealthy. So I used to giggle and laugh every time I said to myself, somehow, some way, I will be generously, effortlessly, massively wealthy. And it turned out to be incorporating. The YouTube algorithm loved me up. I got lots more revenue. I taught classes. People all flooded to come to my classes. And I managed to go from broke to not broke. Okay. And I am 63. So I was trying to create a retirement plan. So I want all of you here to think with fun, glee, wonder, excitement about the idea that you can do this. If you go with a negative attitude, it ain't going to work. Okay. If you think it's all Lori's full of shit, then don't listen to my channel. I'm telling you, I've always operated with my imagination, laying the reality tracks for everything else to follow. But I'm getting better at it the older I get. Here we go. Starting with Pisces today. We're going to go back to the now. We're going to bump ourselves over to October. Why October? Because it's happening October 22nd, the ingress. And I'll probably do an update video on this, but I wanted to get ahead of it with the spiritual element in place. So first of all, let's get ourselves all Pisce'd up, right? We start with you guys because you are the star of the show. Oh, could have gone the other way. Pisces. All right. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Guys like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Hit the notification bell, and you really just help my channel grow. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. You're looking at a sky where you have been dealing with Saturn since 2023. Have you felt serious, heavy, weighted, melancholic, lonely, achy, old? Have you been more worried or anxious than usual since 23? Or have you been more serious and realistic and more authoritative and masterful? And some of you, depending on your age, would have welcomed this transit, right? It may have felt for some of you, Saturn through your first house, like finally your wisdom and your sage-like authority and your expertise in life is being honored. And so this transit is closing out from 2023, and Saturn will be in your first house still until next year, February 14th. Now he's waiting for Neptune to come back and play. And Neptune's like, I'm here. And they're going to try to finish up some business that you haven't finished. You want to manifest something. You want to dream it into being. You want the imagination to lay the reality tracks for some long yearning for a long wish, hope, dream, visual fantasy. It could be about your health. It could be about your work and career, your love life and your romance, your home and where you live. But why am I saying it that way? Because the Pisces sky looks at everything. You are at the vantage point. You're at, like, when you go to a national park and you get that little telescope or little camera or viewfinder, and you can turn it throughout the valley or the canyon or whatever and see what you want to see. You're at the helm of the chart. If you're a Pisces rising, especially, and you can see all the money house, a sibling's house, a home, you can see all parts of your life. And what do you want to visualize into a tangible, positive dream come true? Don't answer that question now. Take some time. Maybe you don't know yet. And another element is that for the Pisces sun, the sun can represent your soul, your deepest essence. And I swear you could get some enlightenment off of this, but also it could really mean a dream come true and purpose and career and accomplishment in a successful career. And for your Pisces moon, what's your dream home? Where do you really want to nest and live? And it could also be a dream outcome of realizing a new state of emotional peace, because the moon represents our feelings. Also, the moon is your mom, and the sun is your dad, and dreamy outcomes with those parents in your life. Now, what I love about it in this story, let me get Neptune crossing the barrier. I'm on the day before. As he crosses the barrier, sorry, guys. Just imagine he's across the barrier. I'm running into ascensional times and latitude. I can't even get Pisces back now. No, I can't. Let me try going by minutes and let's recover the story. Oh, let's get some minutes going here. Yeah, like seriously. Okay. So I want you to take your realistic and practical mind that you have right now, your wisdom, sagacity, and sagacity, and your way of, knowing what's truly you're capable of doing or being, right? There's a bit of a sort of, C block there. I mean, Saturn's not going to say you're going to be a famous singer if you can't sing, right? So you got to keep some realism there, but you can also visualize and imagine what it is you want. And I want to mention to you the good news, I think, about this, of all things, is any delusions and illusions you've had here around long-term committed love, the marriage partnership, the partner, that you fell for or whatever. This is what this is. And Cupido's going to work with a retrograde Neptune to pull back some of the fantasy or illusions you've had, not just about a specific romantic partner, but about romantic love and partnership itself. The whole fairy happily ever after, they lived happily ever after. Yeah, right. Okay. At the rom-com endings. No. So this is going to help you reframe the way you see long-term committed love as well, so that you no longer have those rose-colored glasses and you can approach it with realism. Okay. Realism. And this is the Arawn, the Welsh king. Where do you want to make a better world in the career gains that you have? Where do you want to have a utopian way of creating financial career gain? And where might you want to create a friendship group or circle that you feel is part of making the world a better place? Is a possibility that you're pondering as this ingress begins. Now, we are going to draw a card. I don't know about sea monsters. I think I'm going to leave that for the storms. But if you have any kind of sea monsters that you're afraid of, it's in your religious belief, your faith in God, your trust in a higher plan. The ninth house is where there are some anxious energies here. But it's flowing. So to help you uncover them so that you can move forward. I'm going to draw, as I said, from the Power deck. I love this deck by Lynn Andrews. It's got a lot of cards that are very spiritual. I drew a card for myself this morning. I loved it. Let me look at that card. All right. So because Neptune can rule enlightenment, and his transit through somebody's 12th house or first house can also lead to awakening spiritually, as an example, we want a deck that will cover the potential for some more spiritual energy, not just material realm. So I don't know. It's like for all of you Pisces, you've been dealing with Neptune in your sign since 2011, might have made you inertia, foggy, confused. Mental health challenges may have emerged, illusions. But you might have leaned more into spiritual and imaginal realms than you normally have. You might have gotten what I call woo-woo since 2011, thanks to Saturn. And you may have pursued some enlightenment during that time, tried to find a teacher, a guru, meditating and stuff like that. So that phase is coming to a close. And okay, we're talking Pisces. Look at that picture. Water with a conch shell standing by itself. And that looks like a moon up there over the ice. You can't make that up for a Pisces, right? And the keyword is focus. And it's the north, like in the medicine wheel. Okay. Color is white. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Much of what you see in life is an agreement that much of what you see in life is an agreement that something is in fact true. Consensual reality. To develop power, focus on one aspect of your life. This could be your career, sport, an endeavor that you have a passion about. Yes, because you can see the whole of the wheel. Take your pick. What do you want to focus on? Become an expert. You have Saturn, the mastery god. Become an expert in love, expert in parenting, expert in your career, expert in your relationship to siblings, expert in your writing projects, expert in your entrepreneurial business. Those are the houses around the wheel, many more. In the process of becoming an expert, you fine-tune your whole being. You collect the important parts of yourself and you begin to live the life of a warrior. Rid yourself of attitudes that are not essential to your task. Collect your energy and focus your power on wondrous and magical acts. Let the shell of your consciousness rise out of the ocean of your subconscious mind. It is just a matter of focus. I'm laughing because Pisces, you're double-bodied. You got two fish swimming in different directions. You're mutable, adaptable, and changeable. People think Geminis are scattered. To be true, all of the mutables can be very scattered. So, that's the Sagittarius, the Pisces, my brain, the Gemini and the Virgo, a double-bodied sign. So you have focus, your imagination, with your reality. Again, I'm not going to give you guys a manifestation course here. I've done a lot of teaching and learning on that over the years. I would suggest Neville Goddard's Awakened Imagination as a good place to start. All right, moving on to the next story. That will, of course, be Aries because we started with Pisces. And so Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am one of you. My sun and my moon is in there. And so I have Mercury there, which is why I am blunt and I often put my foot in my mouth as well in my communications. So first of all, you guys are going to be the new wave. You're going to have to go talk to a bunch of Pisces who've lived through a Neptune transit through their house, through their sign, right, since 2011. Now it's your turn to be Neptuneized for another 13 years. So Neptune will be here next year, January 26th, at about 13 years. So you're going to have to get used to him. But now he's backed up. He was testing your water since March, and he's backed up with Saturn into your 12th house. So Aries, a lot of you can remember in 2023, March, Saturn entered into your 12th house. You might have had a yearning for solitude, ashram time. You might have been able to structure monies made through digital income and international revenue sources, which I did. You might have also noticed with Saturn there that you were liking time away from social engagement. Like Saturn it's a loner transit. Alone time should have been fortifying for you, but some of you may have felt lonely at times as well since 2023. Hopefully you used it to go inward and awaken yourself. And some of you may have also dealt with some karmic health challenges during that cycle. Now, with Saturn back here, testing the waters yet again, and Neptune joining him, right? The two of them are together here through till, we'll count it till the end of January, right? January 26th. You want to lay the tracks, your imagination wants to lay the tracks for the reality train to follow. Neptune, imagination, reality, Saturn. And I want you to consider that this is a very powerful placement, because if you're in a spiritual enlightenment quest, if you want to have a, emptiness, shunyata, you want to waken up to unity consciousness, you want to get out of the matrix of your own mind, then this is going to be very powerful. So you may set an intention around that, or it just may happen, because these two are working in a grand finale, last in a lifetime combination in your 12th house of enlightenment, moksha, all the way. There's a lot of compassion with Pisces in the 12th house energy wise. You guys are generous, compassionate people. And Saturn may have been giving you a lot of heaviness about your natural compassionate nature since 2023. I'll acknowledge that for myself over the Gaza thing. But this is a grand finale to take any compassionate action, charitable action, and give it structure. So some of you could create a nonprofit. Some of you might give structured forms to new ways of giving money or supporting others. If I was teaching another class next year, I might create a scholarship fund. This makes it simpler to help people out, that kind of stuff. So your charitability is finding new structure as well. The 12th house is the feet of the guru. Pisces is the feet itself. Kiss the feet of the guru. You got all the way through until next January, the end of January, to do kissing guru feet. What does that mean? Honor a teacher, honor the inner teacher, find the humility within you, kiss the feet of the guru. Now, you are also looking at the idea that you might want to create a better place in the world here, where everyone's peace, harmony, food, and goodness for all, a better world, a utopian place to be. If you have any visions you want to do that, you're going to do that in the public, right? Because the 10th house is the visible sky. You want to offer the people can see you in utopian creations of some sort from the back room of your backside of your life. You might also be looking for an ideal career that brings harmony, peace, and goodness to the world. Like say you work for like a tobacco manufacturer and you believe it's not a karmically good spot to be. You're going to change your alignment of your work. And this is your last chance to kind of line it up. Anything you've been eluded or deluded by or confused by over here in the workspace, we can all fall in love with our work. This is our work routines, the office, the job, the service we offer the world in the capacity of work or livelihood. And, maybe Cupido is a fascinating vibe. Be like, I fell in love with my work. You could have fallen in love with a coworker too. But, we got realism on our side. Saturn is like, let's get real. Neptune said, pull back the illusion and rose-colored glasses, either about the office romance or about the work you do yourself anyway. Like it's time to, look at it with a bit of a realistic but imaginal realm perspective. Can it be better? What do you want to imagine to be? Did you fall in love with the work in the beginning and now you're like, I'm done? Like, I'm no longer enchanted by the work. I'll speak to that as a Aries sun. I'm no longer enchanted by being the astrological weather girl. And I'm disenchanted with giving world politics, astrology, or world events on YouTube. I was in love with it, and now I realize I'm no longer in love. Now, I'm enjoying this kind of video for you guys because I'm giving you some more depth about my own life. I've been in a spiritual enlightenment path all of the last, I don't know, all my life. Okay. And so it allows me to open up a little more, I hope, anyway, value add for those of you who would like to hear this kind of thing. So there you go. So now this is going to help me structure that from my Aries sun to really keep away from the illusions of what I'm smitten by and move into what I really, really want. So consider the work, the things that you were in love with, smitten by, to do with your work, maybe shifting as you get realistic, but in visualize a new path ahead using the power of visualization. Now, what we're going to do is draw a card from this amazing deck that I so love. This is the Power Deck by Lynn Andrews. And it's called the Power Deck. And I picked it because also Saturn is a form of power. It's mastery, wisdom, sage-like, old, elder, Senex, wisdom, and mastery and authority. And so I thought the Power Deck would be also a nice vibe. And then it's got very enlightenment-y. Dream. First of all, why do I like this so much? Because you dream at night. And the moksha house, the 12th house, is also connected to what you do alone. It can involve your sleeping, dreaming, meditating, shamanic trance states, and the card is dream. You see there's a face there, and it looks like hair, but if you look again, it's a waterfall with lotus flowers in a pond. And that's the imaginal realm, where it can be more than one thing. It can look like one and another. The card is called Dream. Your guidance is to dream. Please go check out Neville Goddard's Awaken Imagination, since this is literally the book for a Saturn Neptune conjunction or team up in Pisces. It's the West and the medicine wheel. One day you will remember the great dream, and the way will become known to you. You entered into life through the veil of the dream, because your reason for being here must be kept secret from you until you find your way home. You don't know who you are now, but one fine day you will remember. It's like creation looking for itself. That's enlightenment. I wrote a great poem about enlightenment, about hide and seek, and God playing hide and seek with himself years ago. It's like creation looking for itself. You are in oneness with all life, though you are not aware of it yet. Rest assured, Aries, you will awaken from the dream. Until then, let the Great Mother rest within your spirit. She is the universe. She is the womb of all life. She is the light that shines from your eyes, illuminating your daily dreams. The possibilities you dream of will become your reality. I mean, come on. I mean, that card speaks to the whole reason I'm making this video, but for you, it's especially powerful. Yeah, I never do wear a bra, but it's driving me nuts now. I thought today I would like bra up. All right, moving on to the next sign. That was TMI. Sorry about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're into this kind of content, where I'm adding a spiritual dimension to the tangible stuff. Neptune, 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 moving for the first in a lifetime, last in a lifetime vibration back into Pisces through till the end of January next year. And hooking up with Saturn in your 11th house of good spirit is a very powerful placement. Now, you got used to Saturn here since 2023, March, and Neptune way back in 2011. These two are tag teaming up here to work to help you lay the tracks with your imagination for the reality train to follow. Imagination and reality are Saturn and Neptune. Make your dreams real. Go read the Neville Goddard book, Awakened Imagination. And in this story, what you have is the potential for some real excitement. Volume up with that North Node, your long-range goals and dreams. And why do I say it that way? Because the 11th house itself can represent one's forward thinking, one's imagining, one's wishes and dreams and goals for our lives. And so in that regard, in a house of wishes, we have the wish formula. We have the perfect combination of Saturn and Neptune to make a wish true. So you've got a fairy godfather on steroids, or godmother. I would love for you to think about this energy here as well as potentially making a dream come true about how you earn your income, because you see, our gains of the 10th house come from the 11th. It's like the second from the 10th. So it represents the money we earn through career and purpose. And so if you've been like kind of short shifting yourself and you're like not in a career path that you want, you can envision, dream, and manifest your ideal job, your ideal career path, your ideal earnings course, way you want to earn money. So those of you who are going to change careers, look for a new job, that kind of thing, this is auspicious, but you need maybe to participate a bit. Imagining Neptune's pulling back the curtain with kind of like, don't be deluded by Cupido in the house of love. This is a house of friends. I would say that maybe some friends can help you see your relationships more clearly, or you fell in love, or you have the tendency to fall in love with the person that's not right for you. That could be pulling back the illusion on that and getting more realistic, not about a specific person. That could happen, that they're not truly your person, but more like getting the curtain pulled back on your expectations for love, what romantic and sexual love should look like, what's realistic and what's also beautifully imaginably possible. And with the energy here of kind of creating a utopian world that benefits all, a dream come true world, you might want to do that here in the house of higher education. And as strange as it sounds, you might find your utopian higher educational setting, guide, teacher, mentor, somebody who you're going to study or learn under with this Arawn. That's kind of like a utopian, harmonious educational journey, especially with Jupiter in your third house, activating the ninth as well. A lot of you might have to take professional education or even real education again, but it's going to align you with purpose, career, and money if that's something you're choosing to do. Otherwise, go off to Shangri-La, because the utopian Arawn up here in the house of foreign travel indicates like go off and journey somewhere and find yourself in a place of spiritual peace because of journeys you're choosing to take, maybe with some 11th house person, a friend or a sibling, one older, accompany you on a journey. And we're talking about through till the end of January of next year. Okay. And I'm going to draw a card for you and we're going to see what we get. And don't forget, you've been living with Saturn in your 11th house of earnings and career gains and dreams, maybe feeling hard, like it's a hard energy, like, working hard, but not enjoying the work, paring away friends that don't fit you because, cull the friendship circles here since 2023. And then Neptune is always giving you confusion and illusion, but now you can harness it as an imagination and a dream come true. So your dream friends, your dream earnings path, it doesn't have to always be so hard. All right. You could repair, if you want, a relationship with a sibling, one older, that may have been cool or distant or frigid or not successful. And now there's a warming up. If you want that, you can create that better relationship with that sibling, one older than you, under the sky. So let's draw a card for you. And this is coming again from Lynn V. Andrews, the Power Deck, the Cards of Wisdom. One of my favorite decks. And I think she really nailed it with her spiritual depth in this deck, intuition. All right, it's the west on the medicine wheel. Let's look at the image. Okay. It's like outer space in a rockery around oak trees or something in the woods. Intuition. I'm just sitting with that for myself, for you, right? Like what was calling that forth from the 11th house? Why did the sky, because I'm going to read it to you, want to draw your attention to the intuitive faculties of the story. Maybe it's one of your natural gifts and talents. And that's because Cupido sits in the 5th house of your natural gifts and talents. And maybe you've disowned your intuition, man. Maybe like many of us, you've kicked yourself over and over again for the times your gut instinct or your inner voice or your inner vision told you which way to go, and you didn't listen. And we've all done that, so don't feel bad about it. So this is a reminder, I think, because of the South Node Cupido in the 5th house of your natural talents and gifts, that very possibly intuition is indeed one of them. 23, and we're all intuitive, but you might have a special level of power that you're not acknowledging. All righty, here's what we have. The painting is entitled Sanctuary. Intuition is found through introspection, which lives in the West, and is shown by the portal into the other worlds deep beneath the earth. This is the hidden universe within, the innocence of the deer, the spiritual being of the monk, and the sphere of universal knowledge intimate that we are all one. As above, so below. Intuition is a receptive power that leads you, Taurus, to understand the Mother Earth, the gateway to healing. The gateway to healing her, healing Mother Earth, and that's perfect for you, Taurus, is so you're so earthed out. And bringing magic into your life is your intuition. All righty, that's what we've got. I hope that was resonating and that you can ponder that card and add it to the astrology, and maybe it makes some sense. I'm really hoping it does. Otherwise, I'm talking to nobody, talking to myself here. And we're going to move on to the next sign, which will be the Gemini people. I always let you know I have a progressed sun in Gemini. And if you're looking for your progressed planets, you don't know how to find them, come study with me at one of my courses. But in the meantime, your progressed sun is simple as, solar arc time wise, it's a degree a year from when you were born. So by the time, it depends on where your sun is when you're born, but count for every year of life, move the sun forward by 1 degree, and the planets are moving this way across the two-dimensional sky. So my progression in Gemini, maybe for 14 years now, right? So I have a Gemini essence to me as well as my natal sun in Aries, a lot of fire, a lot of air. So I'm going to talk about me if I think something's relevant to this, right? Just as examples, that's all I'm doing. I'm not a narcissist, better than telling you client stories. So it is a sky for a Gemini here where you're already being inventive, eureka, new downloads, a rebel, breaking the rules, coloring outside of your own lines. You're doing that because of Uranus here in Gemini, right? I start putting tarot cards into my deck draws when Gemini entered here earlier this year. In July, I need to be inventive right now. I need to try new things. And so you might find that this instinct for inventive and new and fresh and different is important to you. I have to backtrack that because it's here and you must pay attention. Uranus will leave here on November the 7th, but he'll be back next year. No worries there. Now, having the energy of your vision and imagination of what you want to create, what your imagination can lay those reality tracks down, right? Imagination can lay down the tracks for that reality train to follow is in your career. So sometimes we get in a career path because we're good at it. And there's a book about the zone of mediocrity, the zone of excellence, and the zone of genius. Can't remember what it's called. And I think that this is a time, if you want to look at this window till next January 26, with Neptune and Saturn collaborating, that you can move into the zone of genius. You don't have to settle for something you're just good at, but something you're great at. Expressing in a career. Okay, you're retired. Then what is it you want to express that you're great at, not just good at, right? Because we do things in retirement we are proud of doing, and the world applauds us for doing them. In this top of the sky, you are reaching mastery. You are reaching expertise and authority. You're at the top of some game in your story. And this is because of Saturn's transit here since 2023. Kamala Harris has got this transit in her 10th house right now. She's born with Saturn in the 9th house, which is not presidential. It's hand of the king. She was the perfect position to be a vice president. And I'm not talking politics, just astrology, but she's now come up with a book and stuff. She's coming to an apex moment in her career, and she may continue up or she may go down after the end of this journey. Like by next February, she may retool her direction in life. So every one of us who can relate to this mountain peak that we're hitting, now we have an opportunity to mesh that with Neptune. Neptune since 2011 in our 10th house of career, right? For many of us may have felt like confusion. We wanted to be spiritual. We wanted to offer true wisdom. We wanted to be compassionate. We wanted all the Neptunian things to work for us. But Neptune also rules YouTube and Instagram and videography. And some of us went in that direction. So Neptune is now working with Saturn to mesh the dream with the real, and you can make your dreams real. Read Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard. I'm saying that to everyone because I don't even know where else to go. It's a great teaching about how the power of imagination works to manifest or impact the matrix. Now, one thing I want to notice here is that you are disabusing yourself of your Cupido, falling in love, smitten, enchanted, infatuated, whatever Cupido's arrow hit you in the 4th house of home, property, land, and real estate. To be practical, I moved under a Cupido transit here, and I was enchanted by my ocean view and disenchanted by the sirens from the fire hall and the hospital. I'm wedged between 2 major ambulance and a fire station, and I'm always listening to those sirens, and everyone laughed at me about that, but I was meant to move, right? I had an eclipse to my moon, but there will be another move, and I'm probably, you could say I'm pretty disenchanted with the sound levels here. So there is a thing, I love my place otherwise, where, where have you been enchanted with some things to do with where you live? You might be getting more realistic, and you might be also enchanted with your childhood. Like a lot of people say, I had a perfect childhood. Then you look again, I guess it wasn't so perfect. So if you've been kind of smitten with your childhood, and it's like, you got to look closer. You're like, I don't know about that. That wasn't exactly as beautifully perfect as I imagine. You might do some soul searching and some cleaning up around childhood matters. The kind of utopian Arawn, happy earth, paradise earth energy is in the 8th house, which is a moksha, spiritual liberation house. And it's like a house of your egoic consciousness. And with Neptune, Saturn, you can deconstruct it, because our egoic mind, our thinking mind, is literally our worst enemy. It is the part of us that keeps us from being at peace with what is and experiencing an internal state of psychological and emotional utopia. So a lot of us here could use this to literally break the chains of our egoic identity that keep us from peace, calm, and causeless joy. So there's a bit of an enlightenment possibility, or a utopian vibe around chunky money, and the way your chunky money, including ad revenue, passive income, royalty income, investment money, it shows up in your life. Inheritance money is included as well, but it's got the vibe of the utopian impulse connected to it. Let us draw a card for how you, as a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, can deal with this transit. It is last in a lifetime, Saturn and Neptune teaming up together in your 10th house. You got to be kidding. You're the second one to get focused. So obviously Saturn likes to focus. He's the guy that makes your schedule happen. A lot of notice sometimes you can see here, like I have everything on my board up there, right? Like I've got like a grand plan for world domination. And I think that's important, but focus, is different than planning. So once you get the plan together, you got to go and drill into like consistent focus, discipline, perseverant energy, which is Saturnian. But with Saturn, it's your imaginal realm as well, and your fantasy and your visions. Much of what you see in life is an agreement that something is in fact true. To develop power, focus on one aspect of your life. Pick which you want: love, career, children. This is angular. You got a lot of range of motion here. What your dream home is. I think I'm going to work on dream home. I'm pretty well in my dream career right now, as far as I can tell. This could be your career, a sport, an endeavor you have a passion about. Become an expert. In the process of becoming an expert, in the process of becoming an expert, you fine-tune your whole being. You collect the important parts of yourself, and you begin to live the life of a warrior. Rid yourself of attitudes that are not essential to your task. Attitudes, right? Not the task itself, the way you think about what you're doing. Task is Saturn. Collect your energy and focus your power on wondrous and magical acts. Let the shell of your consciousness rise out of the ocean of your subconscious mind. It's just a matter of focus. I just bought a few things to do a vision board. I'm going to wait till Saturn and Neptune are joining forces together and really harness that energy. I might put together a vision board class as we get closer to it. I love doing that. I did it a few times. I did it in my Venus retrograde class. We just all get together in Zoom. We talk and we chat. We had such a spiritual connection doing that. I think I'll do a vision board class for Neptune's retrograde into Pisces. So stay tuned for that. It may be in the description box, but I doubt it. I'll have to set that up later. Okay. That was a card for us. Whoa, moving into the next sign. All right, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. First of all, you're water. Neptune's moving back into water. You're flowing with it. Just like the Pisces, you're all good. You're going to work with this easy, natural, intuitive, stress-free. You are at one with water. Try and spring luck, opportunity. You're going to like this a lot. Now, Neptune going back here, because he's been since 2011 in your Pisces house. He dipped out in March. He's back again through to January 26th of next year. This is a placement for some of you that could have put you in a really weird place with your spiritual beliefs, God, religion, true knowledge. You either were like disillusioned, delusioned, you got down with the wrong guru, swallowed too much Kool-Aid that wasn't good for you. Some of you may have also been seeking and questing and searching for a spiritual guru, guide, mentor. Some of you may have also traveled abroad or even moved abroad underneath this kind of energy of Neptune up there. And he's not easy to deal with. It takes a long time. You've had him since 2011 there to figure out. Saturn in 2023 joined him to try to make real some of his meanderings and give you tangible results. And so make a dream real, for example. And Saturn is working with you now through till January, October 22nd till January. Nothing can stand in your way here, right? I just heard that song. We have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. Okay. I think it's Xanadu. That's what I heard for you. So I really want you to think along those lines, because this is the house of God. This is the house of divine knowledge and wisdom. In this placement, as this is happening for you, you might notice that you might have a vision or goal or a dream to go back to school, to educate, to travel abroad so you can make it real. But at the very same time, you're looking at the kind of disenchantment of where you might have been in love, smitten, or infatuated with Cupid's arrow striking you in the neighborhood. The daily places you inhabit, the people you see on the daily, the zone in which you live. It doesn't have to be just the hood. It could be the city that you live in, the daily life you live and where you live. There's a disenchantment or a disillusionment in play, and you're ready to move on. So that could literally, for some of you, lead through to the end of January as a relocation yearning or actual move. And as that is occurring, you might also be disenchanted or disabused of your infatuations with third house things like social media, media outlets, digital media, nonstop information, marketing, selling, and all of the digital noise that surrounds you. And maybe you want to pull away from that realm as well. As you know, there is also this sort of Arawn utopia in the house of committed love and audience. Are you looking for your perfect audience, marketplace, clients, the people that you know are like, you're going to help them make a world a better place, or they're going to help you do that? Or is this for the marriage itself? If you're in a long-term love, are you looking for that union between the two of you where when you're creating a world that's just pure goodness? It's like where everybody's got what they need. It's a paradise in your relationship. Now, all relationships go through ups and downs and ins and outs, but this could be very renewing of a relationship that you're already in, long-term and committed, but also maybe it needs to find a spiritual path together with that North Node energy in the ninth house. Maybe it's a call to move towards a shared spiritual philosophy, a world ideology or view with somebody that you are in a relationship with, as another possibility to bring that utopian paradise energy to the relationship itself. Okay. Let's draw a card from the Power Deck by Lynn V. Andrews. Artwork by Rob Schouten. Shall we draw a card? I think we shall. All right. I'm never going to wear a bra again. I never wear bras. It just drives me nuts, but I thought today I would. I don't know. Because this talk goes down on me and I didn't want it to mystery. Okay, so I said Xanadu, you have to believe in magic, but life is a mystery. Na, 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 na. I think this Madonna, Ray of Light. Madonna's Ray of Light is another song for you. And it's the West on the medicine wheel, number 18, which is the moon, by the way, and becomes the hermit with a lantern in the tarot. The image, by the way, is beautiful. It's like looking through a portal to a land through the heavens, like a portal or a cave open. Sorry. There we go. All right. That looks like Mars down there on the bottom. Mystery. Let's read mystery for the mysterious and intuitive Cancer people. 18. I need an apple in a minute. I might have to take a sugar break. I'm sugar lowing. 18. Mystery. Definition of the card. The painting is entitled Emerging. You, Cancer, are getting emerging energy. You emerge into the mysteries of power and magic. Oh, there's my song, Believe in Magic. Mysteries of power. You're the only one I've been singing for. Who knows why? You emerge into the mysteries of power and magic through your own intent. Mystery is a West card because it deals with introspection, death, transformation, into a new life, a new vision, and a new way of seeing reality. The universe is shown here with the cave of the unconscious mind. True consciousness comes through an emerging from the darkness of our untold selves into the light of balance and the light of harmony between the conscious mind and the unconscious mystery. If a spiritual teacher shows up in your life between now and January 26th, when you see this video, go for it. Go for it. It will also be very good for you. I was going to say something else for you and I forgot what it was. All right, moving into the next sign. A couple more signs, and I think I'm hitting an apple before I faint. Like, here we go. Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Don't forget, if you're in the live premiere watching me or watching this after my live premiere where I'm chatting in the chat room with you thingy, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really supports the channel, and I would really appreciate that. The smallest thing, it's like a tip jar. Just hit the like button. It's a tip jar, okay? Leo, let's talk about the sky. It's very subtle. This is one of the enlightenment transits. Neptune has been traveling through your 8th house since 2011. Saturn joined him in 2023. They're doing their grand finale, last in a lifetime combination. Leo's looking for enlightenment. Look no further than the 8th house of dissolving your egoic consciousness and building a new structure based on truth. That's not your cup of tea, not to worry. It's about your money. It's about the money you share with the spouse, the inheritance funds, the investments, tax structures, things to do with commission checks or chunks of money that come to you that don't come from your daily earning structures. Now, that kind of money is being focused on. And what are your wishes and your goals and your dreams that you wish to make true? Because, you know, your imagination lays the tracks for the reality train to follow. Neville Goddard, The Awakened Imagination, is your best book on this, all of you. And you might just discover that you just have a lack of imagination. You've been like operating on some kind of stupid idea of what you're capable of. I mean, me as an example, but I'm not a Leo. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of incorporating my business until 2024. I've been doing this since 2019. I mean, the money that went down the drain, my accountant was like, oh my God, I wish you'd come to me sooner. So like, don't limit yourself here. Your imagination can give you access to new portals of structure for financial situations of increase, especially money you share with a spouse or a business partner or another institution or person. And if you've been like thinking you had to do something like a certain way, this is a shift. It potentially can really shift your financial situation dramatically from the deep pulling back of the bowstring of your psyche and your soul and your imagination. With Cupido in the earnings house, resources and possessions, you know, you might have been kind of a bit smitten with a certain earning system, money-making system, could have been the last 2 or 3 years. And you're like, this is great, right? Because Saturn's been activating your 2nd house. And, you know, it felt good to have that money coming in or that earnings or those, you know, more financial self-worth or something that worth pocketbook increase. Maybe some of you experienced that. You're kind of disenchanting right now. Cupido to me is always where we get infatuated, but you never know every relationship you've ever been in, the infatuation, the Cupid's arrow wears away. All right. It's a pair bonding hormone. And you are wearing off now of any kind of infatuated, smitten enchantment about a certain kind of money in your life, earnings especially, because something new wants to emerge. And you got to dream a new dream about your money and what money looks like and where money comes from. For example, maybe you had a vision that your spouse was going to support you because that's spousal shared resources, or the government checks were going to come in, and now you're like, wait a minute, that's not working either. You know, I need a new vision. You know, Neptune confused you for a long time. Like, it's okay. My wife has all the money and I'm going to just be, you know, a house husband. And now you're like, I'm bored. I don't know. Things there can change, right? About how you were relying on other people's financial situations to benefit you. Disenchantment and realignment, maybe. Now, I do really like Arawn because this is the utopian work. What is your dream work? What is your, I'm helping the world become a better place and everything is harmonious and wonderful in the livelihood, in the work that I do in this world. For a Leo, there's a strong call to find the answer. And this is a time where the answer by next January 26th may come to you as you lay your imagination lays the tracks with Saturn's support for the reality train to follow. Saturn does not want to make make your dreams hard. He wants to make them real and realistic. Get on the program. And finally, I feel like with this energy going on in your 8th house, if any of you at all are remotely interested in a spiritual teacher to guide you to enlightenment-y storylines of any kind, Jupiter trining from the house of ashrams is a big yes. And some of you might find that you open the doors to spiritual mentorship with someone important and true. And this would likely take place before January of next year, January 26th. Doesn't mean you have to study with the teacher right away, but you might find out who your teacher is. Are you my guru? Are you my guru? Let's draw a card from the Power Deck by Lynn Andrews, and let's see what guidance the Oracle has today for you. Okay. Oh my God. I said, get a guru. Look at, there's a Buddha in the woods. Wow. Is that a red lotus flowers or something? Look at that. I don't know what the red is. Lotus, a red lotus. I dreamt about a red lotus flower the other day. I was swimming in water with red lotus flowers and I woke up enlightened-ish. I really did. So there's the guru. That was during the aftermath of the eclipse. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the Buddha in there without the, I want the camera to focus on Buddha. There's Buddha's light in the forest for every single Leo listening. It is strength. The person who upsets you the most in your life, Leo, is one of your best teachers. If that person can get inside your head, turn you around and confuse you, you know that you still don't understand what you are doing. You need more strength, especially with significant others across the way, right? Where Cupido is. Learn by seeing that your life is a teaching. Like the red lotus healing its pain in inner solitude, gain strength from entering your wounds and learning from them. So you see, the 8th house is where we often have abandonment, shame, and betrayal wounds. Repeat that after me. Abandonment, shame, and betrayal wounds. That is the 8th house. This is why psychologists have a lot of planets there. They're helping people with their abandonment, shame, and betrayal wounds. That's why it's an infidelity house in love stories. People cheat on each other connected to events that happen in that house. The magician remembers the trail and takes a different one, even if it's more difficult. Yeah. In this way, as a magician, you create your own path as you build strength from it. Sounds like some of you might need to get out of a bit of a toxic relationship, but if you're in that, then it's also a part of you. You created that story to jumpstart you out of your own mire, out of your own spiritual slumber, so to speak. Now, I don't know, can I get through this without an apple? I think I can. Let's keep going. I just don't want to break my flow. Where's my tea? There's my tea. This is a rose tulsi. So Virgo, the Virgin, you just got through an eclipse. How you feeling? Press a humdinger, right? And that's coming to, it's like you're still burbulating from the eclipse of September 21st, rolling out for the next 6 months to a year. So hang in there. I want to point right away to Cupido because it's relevant. Where in life have you been smitten by some situation, person, thing, place? I fell in love with, Portugal. I'm going to move there. I fell in love with Sally. She's my soulmate. I fell in love with my job. It's so perfect. I think Cupid's arrow is the initial surge of enthusiasm for something that eventually wears off as we see what's real underneath all of the in-love hormones with something in our lives. So you have Cupido, like anoretic, meaning it's coming to an end. It's completion of that a fantasy or illusion or smitten quality, it's wearing out. And as this is occurring, we see that Saturn and Neptune. So Saturn was in your marriage house, long-term committed love and relationship, clients and audience ever since March of 23. And he made it hard. You've been going through difficulty, testing, trying to form new structures. Should we get married, move in together? Should we sign a prenup? I'm giving some examples from clients. And this is the energy that Saturn is like, we're testing the relationship. Will it go the distance? Does it have the strength it needs to continue? Is it going to keep the structure and form that we have, or are we going to change it? That's the testing for everyone who's a Virgo in a relationship. Out of a relationship, then you've been more testing matters to do with like new relationships with an older or younger person by 6 or 7 years, with karmic people who are karmically meant to cross your path. Now, Neptune has been in since 2014 in your seventh house, giving you a lot of soulmate delusion. A lot of Virgos fell madly in love with their twin flame or soulmate starting in 2011, then fell out of love as they realized that they were in some kind of fantasy that wasn't real. That's unfortunately true when Neptune travels the seventh house. But you can also be with or meet a soulmate. It works both ways. So now is your last in a lifetime chance, never to be seen again, to use your imagination to lay the tracks for the reality train to follow in what it is you want to experience in long-term committed love and business partnerships, as well as the types of clients and audience and marketplace you want to reach in your life as something you might be doing in a career path. And because your imagination, read Awaken Imagination, is your God-given power to create something in your imagination image, then you have a superpower, but also to make it last, to make it go the distance, to make it concrete and real. And when this energy is here for you, October 22nd to January 26th, this is going to be the final chance to figure out where you lie in relationship to relationship. Not just the one you're in or wish to be in, but in your ideals about what relationship looks like for real. You know, like knight in shining armors don't exist, right? Otherwise, you're codependent. You're being rescued from yourself. There's a way that your relationships may have to be retooled in your imagination as well. Your partner may be going through something. If you're in a relationship, this Neptune, Saturn can be very practically good for somebody. They may be going through a consolidation of some dream or wish or goal they've had in their life, and they're having it manifest as well. Now, one thing about this is that you're going to notice that Arawn is like the utopian world in the house of romantic and sexual love and children. The good news is that this is flowing to that, and you can create a more of a dream come true utopian paradise in the way you the way you connect to your sexual romantic energies in relationship. Or there may be a yearning for a home with children and making babies and having a family if you're young enough for this. And this is the way Arawn would work, the Welsh king, is you having children can benefit the world. You can benefit your own creative urges with this as well. Do you have yearnings to be entrepreneurial, creative, and artistic? And can you open the door to those in a sort of paradise come true, dream come true way? Some of you might start your own creative entrepreneurial business in the wake of this. Some of you might go into using hobbies, talents, and natural gifts and artistic expressions and offering it to an audience and marketplace in the next few months. And this is going to be true through till January the 26th. Now, let's see what the cards have to say to add to this. And don't forget, with these eclipses in your seventh house, forget about Saturn. He's a badass himself. There's a lot of intensity in a North Node eclipse cycle in the marriage house, so to speak. It's asking for you to grow the relationship like, a root-bound plant. It's in a tight space. The roots are suffering. You need to find a bigger container. Sometimes it's we're moving in, we're getting engaged, we're getting married. Sometimes the root-bound space is too small. Nothing can change, and it's time to end it. So North Node eclipses can be that way. Okay. And also, there's often a tendency with a North Node eclipse cycle. There's a lot going on in the life of your partner, and you're like, whoa, like, oh, transformation. Here's their picture. I'm not surprised that this is the card for you. Okay, so you just went through the eclipse, okay? And then now the story I'm giving you is on the bonus points on the eclipse game board. I do like that we have like birds and lotus flowers of some kind in a pond. It's very zen, so that's nice. Let's read it for you. Okay, Virgo. Ooh. The power of your intent, Virgo, leads you around the sacred wheel of endeavor. Begin today, or October 22nd to January 26th. Begin today with trust and innocence in the early hours. Imagine a quiet pond. See the reflection of your true self. So our house of our audience, marketplace, business partners, and clients is the mirror by which we see ourselves. It's the others that reflect us back to us. Is your partner in life reflecting back the you that you really want to be seeing? Are you being mirrored properly by your partnership or your relationship? So that's why the quiet pond, see your own reflection of yourself. Don't rely on the mirror of another person or your audience or your marketplace. At noon, take a moment to close your eyes, to dream, imagine the transformation this day offers you through your ability to love, seek the strength and wisdom to bring this transformation into action and into the words you speak. At night, give thanks for the illumination you have found. Know that the form of your intent leads you to the power of transformation. Go read Neville Goddard's Awakened Imagination. If you're in a relationship you know isn't right for you, but you're hanging in there, then this is an important message for you. Go inward, look at yourself, reflect. Okay, I'm going to grab an apple. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I am definitely not going to be able to continue without food. I'm back. I had a beautiful gala apple. And I put Celtic sea salt on it. My mother used to do that when I was a kid. And I was like, Mom, why are you putting salt on your apple? And now that I've gotten into salt on my apple, I love it. It's the perfect, like, I don't know, rehydration therapy meets, sweet and salty. Here we have the next sign. We just finished talking about Virgos, and we've got to go through to the Libras now and talk about your story. Last in a lifetime, Saturn and Neptune traveling in your Pisces 6th house. And we'll be back again. So this began with Neptune here in 2011. Then Pisces, the Saturn joined him in Pisces in your 6th house in 2023 March. And they've been tracking together. They kind of diverted into Aries for a while earlier this year. And that would have been in March and May for Neptune and then Saturn. And now they're back together. Why is this important? Because it is literally a last in a lifetime combination of planets touching each other within 3 degrees that allow for the manifestation energy to perhaps work. Yes, for your imagination to lay the tracks for the reality train to follow, as Caroline Casey says. Or Saturn doesn't make your dreams hard, but real or true. There's something going on with that for all of us. I kind of want you to consider that the 6th house is a place where you find your work. You often find it in terms of being of service. And if you don't like your work, you're going to say, I'm in a place of servitude. If you don't like your work, it's a job, you hate it, then you're missing the point of the 6th house. It's where we can be of service to others, to the greater good, so that we pay off the karmic debts that we may have accumulated in our 8th house. One of the ways that the 6th house works as well is it brings us into connection with illness and sickness and health. It's often a place where we encounter illness and we also transform it. Often it's something we have more in control over, but I will qualify that, Libra, that Saturn often transiting here since March of 23 can bring into your life karmic illnesses, things that are coming through almost like old patterns from other lives that have to be transmuted by you. So if you have any challenges to your health since March of 23, this too shall pass. This is some transmutation. You want with Saturn here to work hard. And I bet you any money, if I talk to you and we sit down and have a convo, you're going to go, oh my God, I've been working my ass off. I've been working so hard. I've been working hard since 2023 March, and maybe work feels hard. It feels heavy and burdensome, or you just feel disciplined and perseverant, but you've been working it. That's okay. That with this Neptune combination between October 22nd and January 26th, I'm going to encourage you to dream your dream job, dream your dream livelihood, dream your dream office space, corner office, great views, dream your routines around the work, dream into being your ideal health state, especially through daily routines as well. Especially with Mars trining from the 2nd house of what you put in your mouth. This is good for Libras to let go of bad food styles or even addictive habits. So there's a beautiful dream the dream, and it can become real. And read the Awakened Imagination book by Neville Goddard for homework. In your 6th house, we sometimes have animals, domestic animals, your parrot, your cat, your dog, whatever lives with you. And these animals are part of our lives. And this is what your dream is. Maybe you had an animal pass in the last 3 years, with Saturn there. Maybe an elder animal is having health challenges. Maybe you want an animal and you're dreaming your dream animal. That's something that may be possible under this transit. Because you have the asteroid Arawn in the 4th house, what utopian home are you trying to create? And I mean utopian. I mean, like, this is my paradise. This is my home, is my paradise. And so this can help you dream that into being, also through the archetype of rentals as well, because where Saturn sits is a house of indentured servitude. So it's like, okay, you're going to rent a property, you're going to be a leaseholder, or maybe you're a landlord, you're going to find your dream tenant. But either way, what visions and dreams do you have around your dream place to live? Start October 22nd, especially if it's a rental property, and consider that you're going to manifest it. It's going to come to you. I mean, really mean it, guys. I'm not making this shit up. You might be disenchanted or losing faith with Cupido. Cupido does not exist here. Cupido at the ingress is over here in Virgo. And the energy would be, I'm ahead by a day. Let's go back by a day. Let's see if we can get back to the 22nd. Cupido is like, where are you? Where did you fall in love with? I'll give you some ideas. I fall in love with a far off distant foreign land. Be smitten with 12th house, with a guru, be smitten with a addiction. I just love my vape, can't get enough of my weed or whatever. So where did you get that infatuation, that falling into an in-loveness with some element of addictive substances, self-undoing, maybe, foreign lands and distant places that you've traveled, or even yearning for sanctuary and guru, falling in love with these ideas, even falling in love with pilgrimages under the sky. So yeah, if that's fine, you could have that. No, or even falling in love with work where you generate income from a foreign company and you've been smitten by that. But that work axis here, see, it's like someone's got to give, something's trying to change. Mostly, I'd say a majority of you, every Libra I've ever met has no life work balance, are going to figure out, where is my life work balance? And the dreaming, if you use it, is to dream into being your ideal home life relative to your work life, paradise at home, and imagining your dream work routines and job. And don't worry, guys, you've got Jupiter in your 10th house through till next July. You're going to be successful in your career, and you're going to be rewarded, and you're going to be lucky. But can you spend some time, October 22nd to January the 26th, dreaming into being your new dream life career path? That's my guidance for you. Otherwise, maybe it's the dream path, or the dream rental, or the dream health outcome. Saturn rules bones and teeth, and Saturn is in your Pisces house, your feet. So bones, teeth, feet, health challenges resolving miraculously through the power of your visualization. I tell you to read Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard. I read it years ago, game changing. I'm going to actually read it again, actually. Below. Let me show you the card, first of all. I got 2 cards for you because both fell out together. It's nurturing. They're both red. They're both the cell. The reason I like nurturing as well as flow is because the 6th house is sickness and health and daily routines. And how much nurturing are you getting for yourself? And there's the flow. The flow is Pisces. It's your work house. You need flow. It's an Artha house. So I'm not going to read along. Well, I'll see how I do here. Let's go for flow. And the numbers of your cards are 8 and 6. So at least they're close together. I think flow is self-evident, right? They came out together, which is, 2 stuck together, then fell apart. So for the flow card, your message is this. Okay, so this painting is entitled Flower and Song, and get into the flow of energy in the universe. Move into instinctual sides of your nature. The universe of stars and planets in the bottom of the waterfall indicates the universe of your inner self, the highest part of your inner being. It's through this life on earth, represented by the mountainside and the waterfall, that you can move into the eternity of enlightenment and sacred flow. Not too shabby. Talks about letting go and moving your consciousness out of your mind and into your body mind, or your shaman center, just below your navel. Okay, that's the flow card. Now let's go to nurturing, number 8. Well, it was right beside, I don't know how I jumped ahead. Sigh 8. Only we can heal ourselves, sometimes with assistance, sometimes without. Our energy or our chakra system corresponds to the energy of flow from the earth. If you listen and feel Mother Earth, she will heal you as you heal. She will heal you as you heal her, Mother Earth, with the nurturing force of timeless give and take. Prayer enables you to take power out of the mind and place it in the hands of the earth and the sky deities. Try to see it through the mirage of social barriers. See through that mirage of social barriers. And sorry, I just noticed my hair's getting awfully white up there, that cloud the eyes of women and men around the world. Nurture your dreams. Nurture your dreams. Is this job a dream job? Act in your dreams as if you want to act. Find the guarded kivas and sacred places where you have hidden your heart, and nurture your spirit. I'm going to add to that, nurture your body, because this is the house of sickness. So your dream self-care routines along with your dream job. All right, moving into the next sign. And the next sign is obviously after Libra, Scorpios. Sorry, guys, I'm going by day by mistake. If I get any more songs for you guys, I'll try my best. I cannot sing, can't carry a tune. Scorpio, we're getting to the finish line. We've got 4 signs left because we started with Pisces. Scorpio, guys, this is like, yeah, dreams come true. Your imagination laying the tracks for the reality train to follow in the house of romantic love, sexuality, children, over here, creative projects, your natural talents and gifts, your children, having them, or, getting pregnant, or the ones you already have. So, or getting your partner pregnant. So in essence, what is your long-range vision and goal and dream that's sustainable, realistic, Saturn, structurally sound, and yet also dreamy and dream come true? Single Scorpios could meet a soulmate. When? Between October 22nd and Saturn's January 26th. Yes, especially with the North Node. Love of a lifetime, karma mate, soulmate, maybe an age difference, 7 years minimum, 6-7 years above or below you. But if you're not meeting a soulmate and you're already with someone, then what are your dreams about? Starting a family, being creative, romantic, sexual energies with you and your partner. Do you want to be entrepreneurial? What's your dream entrepreneurial and gig? What you want? You want to create art and art projects and creative projects. What are your visions and goals and dreams? Read Awaken Imagination by Neville Goddard. In the meantime, this is, laying those tracks for the reality train to follow, because you can visualize what you want, because you can dream what you want. In this very good house, this is a house of good fortune. This is a powerful and positive sky for you. And I love that you also are sort of like decompressing for the places in your life where you've been disenchanted. You're going to be more realistic about falling into an infatuation or a smitten quality about the career gains. Like, look at me, I'm making all this money, or look at me, this money's friggin' fabulous. Or your social groups and circles. Like, maybe it was good for a time, but, Cupido's like, are you sure that's working for you still? Saturn looks across the way. Is it worth all the effort you're making this money with? Or is this the way you really want to make the money that you're making? Is it bringing you inspiration and enthusiasm, or is it just money from your career? And that's one of the things that some of you are really going to look at in the next few months through to January 26th from October 22. Another element going on here is that you're going to want to create a dream neighborhood. Now that sounds like a dumb thing, but Arawn, like paradise, utopia, in the house of neighbors, neighborhood, daily places you would go, and the dream. I have a Scorpio friends moving from Portugal to probably London, but I'm no doubt if this guy works her way, she'll find herself in like this area of living, like let's say in London, where she's like in her dream zone. It's the perfect place. It's all the things she loves, walking distance, the neighbors are the types of people that bring her in a sense of the world is a better place. The third house is writing and communicating. So you might want to write something or communicate something that brings utopian paradise to the world, harmony, ease, and peace. Arawn, I read it in the beginning. And if you do that with the 5th house, and this is definitely great for artistic creations through communicating, writing, and teaching, being a positive thing that flows for you over the next third week of October to third week of January. If you want to publish a book, Jupiter's up here. His book publishing success and luck all the way through until next July. So those artists and you who want to write and publish or have international success, it could definitely show up here. And lastly, you got a lot of energy going on as I do this recording. Mars is until November 3rd in your sign. Lean into that. Feel into Mars's support. He's helping you decide, take action. He's the Lord of your sign in dignity. You are kind of more clear than you've ever been for a while. Every 2 years, you get a 6-week clarity spell about what choices you need to make. And the actions you need to take are very unstoppable right now. You know what you want, you're going to get it. You're going to be unstoppable in the actions you take to achieve or get the thing you want. That's my advice. Let's take a card for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for October 22nd to January 26th. What are you doing with Neptune and Saturn together in the sky? And you've been dealing, let's go back for a second, it doesn't say it, but Neptune since 2011, Neptune has been working, his charms, like his charms with you, in your house of sexuality, romance, children, creativity. And some of you have been very imaginal, but also very confused and maybe fell in love with people that were not right for you, or rose-colored glasses on your romance scene. But then Saturn made you realistic as of 2023 March, like sober-minded, realistic about what it is you want in love and romance, regarding parenting, regarding children, all of that. I think one other sign got transformation. One other sign, I don't remember who it was. It is the medicine wheel West. All right. And I'll read it to you. Oh, I forgot. Why was I reading the book? I was reading the back of the card. I'm making it hard on myself. Like, the power of your intent leads you around the sacred wheel of endeavor. Begin today with trust and innocence in the early hours. Imagine a quiet pond and see the reflection of your true self. I think that was Virgo. Wow. Imagine the transformation this day offers you through your ability to love, seek the strength and wisdom to bring this transformation into action and into the words you speak. At night, give thanks for the illumination you have found and know that the form of your intent leads you to the power of transformation. Maybe it wasn't Virgo. I don't remember who it was. All right. I want you to think about death and rebirth when you think of transformation. Okay. I don't know what's changing or why, but it's changing. Okay. So I got the weirdest thing where someone's trying to come into my room here, and I don't have any meetings scheduled. Eartha, who's Eartha? I'll ask. I just don't like, I want to block them, but yeah. So let's get going and talk about the next sign after Scorpio. And now I think a lot of you know your stories, like, the signs and what goes next and stuff like that. Because after Scorpio, we have the Sagittarian energy, the fire, the bow and arrow, hope, faith, and optimism. And you guys are sitting here all fired up about homeland, property, real estate, domicile, sanctuary home, where you live. And some of you may have been confused on and off since 2011 about where you're meant to live. And you might have some illusions and delusions that were, setting you back about the true place to be in terms of home. And then Saturn joined the fray, and in 2023 March added some common sense, some sobriety, some realism about where you live or whom you live with. And interestingly, Saturn can be the elder in the home and with dementia or something with Neptune. And maybe some of you have been, having to take care of an elderly parent or grandparent in the home, and that too. But a deeper level, especially with the node of fate, Saturn is saying, are you ready to make your dreams real? Neptune wants to lay, the imaginal Neptune wants to lay the tracks for reality to follow. And Saturn will fill those tracks with your dreams if you're ready for them, if you're ready to step into what it is you really want in your home life. Is it like the right people you're living with? And that includes a spouse. Is that the right spouse? Is it the right place to be living, country or city or wherever you are? Are you really where you want to be? Because you might be rethinking that or revisualizing that. Now, between October 22nd all the way through until January 26th, this last in a lifetime combination of Neptune and Saturn offers you the chance to seed a dream of the home that is your dream home, that is also going to last a long time. Saturn builds things that endure minimum of 7 years. So there's something going on for you there, Sagittarius. You might be disillusioned in the sense of you fell in love with the Cupido, your job, your career path. You fell in love with an authority figure. You fell in love with your reputation in the world and how people respect or don't respect you, probably respect you. You fell in love and you're ready to leave because Cupido is like, okay, because of retrograde Neptune, the rose-colored glasses are gone. Now, this is a house of marriage as well. I mean, marriage is your 7th, but the weddings and the institutions of legal marriage belong to the 10th. And so you might be disillusioned in a relationship. You might be with somebody that you're legally wed with, and you're like, like I'm no longer smitten with this situation or this environment or this person or this agreement. For some Sagittarius, that may be true. And there is a quality here of leaning deeply into your childhood. I mean, sometimes anytime we have Saturn in the 4th house, and that began in March of 23 and finishes up next February 14th, you're going to take a long, hard look at your values from childhood, at your programming, at what your mom in particular taught you, secondarily father. And you might begin to unwind the karmatic elements of your ancestral and familial stories that have been maybe holding you back in some way. And finally, because we have this Arawn of a utopian paradise in the house of earnings and resources, it's quite easy to say, what is your ideal, beautifully appointed career and earnings story? What have you been dreaming in a kind of a smitten, infatuated way that no longer captivates you from a realistic perspective around career and work? And what is the next thing that you want to bring into your earnings, resources, and possessions and money? That's our one. It's a paradise. Now, because you possess a home, there's also the possibility this is also simply, again, about possessing that dream location. You don't have to own the home. It's where are you going to be in your living domicile home that you are feeling, I'm in my own paradise. This is my place. This is where I want to be. Feminine. And the picture is this. Now, Sagittarius, the feminine energy is asking you, the yin, the Shakti is asking for your attention in the manifestation of something to do with ease and dream-like wonderment in your home. And it is interesting because, of course, anytime we talk about the feminine, we're always definitely talking about the water signs and energetically because they're flowing energy, right? They move in a great flow. And Jupiter's happy to help you out, right? Jupiter's the lord of your 4th house, and the dude's in exaltation in the 8th house of chunky money. Some of you may come into some inheritances or some financial abundance that allows you to purchase a new home or sell your home and receive a great deal of profit from it. So let me read the card to you. And you're going to dream this new dream if you're ready for it. Read Awakened Imagination, Neville Goddard, hopefully between October 22nd and all the way through to January 26th. I think I'll put a vision board class together for everybody who wants to come join me in that. Feminine. The world is bereft of feminine consciousness. To bring Mother Earth back into balance, we must bring back our awareness of her. Language is a barrier between us, but women have always communed with women in an unspoken language. Her roots are entwined with the essence of Mother Earth, for she too is feminine. Woman is the keeper of the planet and must not let her energy be uprooted by the male systems within man or woman. We are all in need of world harmony. Mother Earth has been misunderstood, but she is the universal link. She is the womb for all of our lives, all that lives. Feminine consciousness is the energy that embodies the wisdom you need at this moment. Well, it's a lot to do with the earth in that one, right? The feminine, but also the earth, the mother earth energy. And a lot of this is pointing me towards, I'm laughing, but Neptune in watery Pisces says you need to live near water. I don't care if it's a swimming pool or a pond or a lake or an ocean and a river or a stream, but also Saturn loves rocks, mountains, outcroppings, right? Height above the water. Just a tip for some of you. I know a Saturn moved to water, but he doesn't really have a height above it. He's at sea level. I don't think it's working for him. So we'll see. I'll let you know what happens to that dude. Now we're moving on. And here we have Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. We're coming to the finish line. 2 signs left. So Cappies, I love you guys. You're amazing. You're so resourceful. You are looking at this idea of Arawn in your sign as the ingress happens, right? Oh, is that right? I'm losing my picture here. Wait. Yes. So you've got this Arawn, the Welsh king of utopia, paradise, harmony, peace on earth, fertility. Everybody's happy. It's a beautiful world, the perfect kingdom. Where in your reality are you Arwanian? Where are you becoming this visionary for a utopian paradise on earth? Is it you being in the state of consciousness that allows for that? Or is it finding the environment that supports that? The Welsh king of the other world is also about delights, absence of disease, eternal youth, abundant food, paradise or heaven. That's really yearning in this archetype for you. It's also an awareness of one's mortality. All right. And you want to move beyond the limitations of that mortality. It's a longing, though, for a better place, whatever that is, whether it's within yourself or it's in the outer world. You have a longing for a better place. And this longing is being met, all right, by a last in a lifetime energy as Neptune ingresses backwards on October 22nd to January 26th in your 3rd house. And this is the house of neighborhoods, local environments that you inhabit on the daily. It's literally is it a city? Is it a village? Is it a town? Is it an ashram? What is this local environment that you're yearning to have as a source of fulfillment of a paradise kind of vibe? And I wonder because, you've been having a Neptune transit through your 3rd house since 2011. Maybe some of you are uprooted and you've moved to different neighborhoods. Maybe since 2011, some of the moves haven't felt like you've landed. You've been confused or unsure, fogged out about where to go, where is the best place. Saturn in 2023 joined Neptune in March and wants to help stabilize that and bring you a dream come true local environment in which to live. And the people you meet on the daily are people that you want to meet on the daily, right? The places and people and things in the daily vibe. So I think that a lot of you might look at this opportunity because Saturn will hit your 4th house again next year in February, that this is a precursor to a move because Saturn in the 4th house can often relocate people. And this is something like finding the locale, not necessarily the home. I don't think you're going to necessarily find the right place exactly or the right hood exactly. October 22, but some of you to January 26, but some of you are getting pretty darn close. It's like you're looking for the pin the tail on the donkey and you're getting closer. You're warmer. You're warm. My mom used to do Easter egg hunts, warm, cold, hot. I got a great, my outro. I'm going to tell you about my mom's death in the outro about the Easter egg hunt. And so then I would say to you, if you want to change your neighborhood and you want to move because that chironic wound about not belonging where you live since 2019 wants to heal now, then you're going to move. Just going to move. You're going to find a new place or you're going to know which direction to go by the time you get through to the end of this transit next February. Now, Neptune himself is, Saturn and Neptune are working together, imagination and reality. So the quote I used in the beginning, your imagination lays the tracks for the reality train to follow. Or, Saturn wants not to make your dreams hard, but make them real and true. This is trying to happen. So this is your window of manifestation opportunity coming through and won't be back again in this life in this way. So it's time to stick the landing. Some of you might be writers, or teachers, marketers and sellers. This is going to really help you align your truest wishes in the way you do those things as well. You might have been disenchanted or are coming to a lack of infatuation with book publishing, foreign places, foreign people, foreign lands, gurus, spiritual teachers, religions, these mentors, guides, whatever. Like it kind of, you could like Cupido, normally you could fall in love with any of those, but because Neptune's opposite and retrograde is keeping you from the rose-colored glasses getting stuck on your head. Like you might not be able to sustain that infatuation if you've ever had it at all, with your guru, with your teacher, with your university education, or with your guide, or with your therapist, whatever it is. Now, I mean, I'm just speculating that the retrograde will help you not be in an infatuation, but you never know. Maybe somebody you could be infatuated with a ninth house person. And just keep in mind, Cupido's arrow is never trustworthy. It always wears off. The next thing I want you to know is that if you are somebody who is considering writing and publishing, there's something about this that might actually be important for you. So keep in mind that some of you Cappies who are in the writing, communicating, publishing vibe may be coming into a time in which you can sort of visualize or imagine or dream into being your perfect, situation around those types of endeavors, right? Getting a New York Times bestselling book deal, you know what I mean? So don't give up on any of that either. A sibling, one younger than you, a sibling two older than you, and some major turning around through new visual and imaginal realms of your relationships with some of those siblings could occur as well. Jupiter supports everything that's happening with this retrograde Neptune from the 7th house, also the sibling 3 older than you. So siblings get activated a lot for some of you Capricorns, and positive developments from those siblings should be emergent in the sky as well. Finally, I'm going to add one more piece. I mean, Jupiter is going to be in your 7th house till next July. It often brings in really powerful and positive new love stories if you're a single Capricorn. But if that's to happen under this sky because of Neptune, Saturn, it's going to be a realistic relationship that's a dream come true, but you may have to move. It may require travel or relocation as a result. All right. So that's what we've got for you. And we're going to draw a card. And the card is going to be the Power Deck draw from Lynn Andrews. And let's see what we get. I can't believe I started reading the book when I had the write-up on the back of the card, which is why I love these cards. I don't have to dig into the book and look for the page, Woo! Well, first of all, that's a full Buddha looking dude here, yeah? It looks like he's a Buddha in like Times Square or something like it. Is that the Chicago building in the background with a spire? All right. Centering. It's white. It's the north and the medicine wheel. Never leave your center. Never leave your center, Capricorn. Count your bad points as well as your good. What is good and what is bad are most often purely relative. If you sense a weakness within yourself, explore it. It may become the source of your greatest strength. Your 3rd house is your mind. It's your thinking mind. So that's important because often what is good and bad, we label it, right? Is it good or is it bad? Who knows, is the old Zen parable. It's when the farmer's son breaks a leg and all the neighbors go, so bad, he can't help you with the crops. And the Zen farmers, who knows, is it good or bad? And then the son doesn't go to war because he's got an injury. So he escaped from going to war and being killed. And so your mind is the 3rd house where the realism of Saturn and the vision and power of Neptune are joining. It could be enlightenment, actually. What is good and bad are most often relative. If you sense a weakness within yourself, explore it. It may become the source of your greatest strength. As you sit like a sacred Buddha amid the pandemonium of your life, always remember that a situation or person who has the ability to upset you the most, to pull you off your center, is your greatest teacher in the process of centering. And that includes for you siblings under this sky. Remember that a focus on negativity can become your addiction. And when you center yourself in your power, you release your need for constant distraction from your center. The 3rd house story is sextiling your Capricorn sun, moon, and rising, and is meant to bring something positive, harmonious, and successful to you. Finally, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm putting this video way ahead of October 22nd because I don't know what else to put out right now. The sky is quiet. So please give me a nice boost when you first catch the wave of this. The SEO engine, I don't know if it's going to like this so far in advance or not. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am one of you. All right. It is like we are looking at the last 11 years I mean, no, more 13. In 2011, Neptune enters our money and earnings house and also our what we put in our mouth. And a lot of us struggled with too much wine, too much weed, too much something, nicotine. It would have incited an escapist tendency through our nose and mouth. Okay, let's be honest. And I'm going back to 2011. And the second thing it could have been doing, Neptune in our second house, is like giving us all kinds of delusional fantasies about the ways in which we can possess and earn money, right? Too many get rich quick schemes happened to me early in that transit. On the other hand, right, you're looking for a spiritual and meaningful and compassionate and true way to earn money. It's a difficult transit in our muggle world because you're calling yourself to a higher standard of purity around the way you create money and imagination and creativity. Then Saturn enters into the fray back in 2023 March. And now he says, let's get real, let's get realistic, let's get to work, let's make it concrete. And I always say I incorporated in 24, right? Saturn showed me a way to save the money I'm making by incorporating instead of giving it to my government at like 55 to 60% tax rate and saving some of it. And now, you know, it's coming back for a last in a lifetime combination. Did any of you have dental work during this time? Saturn could have induced dental work for some of us. I had a little cavity. But now Saturn's like, okay, we're going to make something real, solid, and structured. And we're going to make sure it's realistic. And Neptune says, and it's dreamy and it's ideal. So there is the imagination of Neptune laying the tracks for Saturn, the reality train, to follow. I encourage you to use your visualization, your vision boards, your highest imagination, read Awakened Magic by Neville Goddard, to create the income source and the financial monies that you need in life and the resources of food, shelter, and water. All second house matters. Safety financially, in order to be in an alignment with a higher dream and a higher power. And maybe because you also have Cupido, you were infatuated or fell in love with other monies, that inheritance stash, that money from your spouse, that money from the government, that money from passive incomes that, you know, like royalty ad income on YouTube, royalty income from your book publisher, these kinds of shared resources, right? You share the money with the publisher, you share the money with Google ads, right? Well, I was pretty infatuated. I'm going to fess up. Oh my God, I'm making ad income. This is exciting. I'm sleeping and money's coming into my account. But it's also disenchanting here because Saturn's realism and Neptune's realistic in retrograde, and they're looking at it and there's something that's got to change. That's all it means. It's not good or bad, no judgment. Something wants to move into something different around the way you resource yourself in your financial life. Arawn is in the Enlightenment house, the Welsh underworld king, who is all about paradise, the perfect utopian world, eternal youth. It makes us aware of our mortality. What legacy do we want to bring? What goodness and harmony and peace and goodness, and no one's hungry and there's enough food for everyone. And what is this yearning for a utopian dream world that's being activated by this? So in other words, if you're going to change your earnings, money, resources, story, you're going to be hooking up to this is going to create something that is for the most highest good for the collective, right? To establish a paradise energetically on earth, a utopian world. And it is the house of charity, right? So some of you might get a nonprofit or become charitable to help create this utopian world. I always wanted to start a foundation. I just don't have enough money to do that. So there's an example. Now, nonprofit. Another element of the sky that must be considered here is the North Node is increasing the volume here. So you're really not just tinkering with your financial structures. You're doing something you've never done in a way you've never done. And Jupiter blesses this from the sixth house of work. So it's not one thing or the other. It's a lot of things that are aligning you to a greater plan in your work, livelihood, money, and resources, and also speech. You know, we speak, our voice comes through our second house. Voice, vocation, and calling are intertwined, but also just our voice. And so now Neptune and Saturn are trying to mesh together to help you use your voice in a way that's going to be also not just profitable, but creating that paradise, that utopian world, that better world in some way. In magic, we say abracadabra. There is probably a good thing for you to consider singing or speaking your wishes rather than just thinking about them. I don't know, just a thought, because it is the house of the voice. I'll be doing a vision board party, I think, and you can join me coming up when the ingress happens. I haven't set it up because I'm teaching Sky Reader. I got a lot going on, but I would love to do a vision boarding class with others in a Zoom room with me. I've done this before on my Venus retrograde class. It was such a blast. And I don't know if I can open up widely to everybody, because then you can't really talk to people and connect. So I might make it a smaller group. All right. So first come, first serve. But it's just something fun I'd like to do with community. So we'll see what happens there. I do have a community. It's called my Patreon community. Come check it out. That's where we have Zoom classes together, and we get a really good chance to get to know each other, and our classes are intimate. And I love that community. It's my favorite place to hang out. Offering. Well, I told you about charitability as well, right? Because of the charitable house. Okay. There is a beautiful maple, red maple with the globe of the earth. There's Utopia sitting on a cauldron of some sort. What is that? It looks like a rock with water in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like a well. All right. So I'm reading it to you. Every day of our lives, we take from Mother Earth our energy for life, yet we often forget the ancient traditions of sacred giveaway. Arawn is in the house of giveaways, charitability. I just this morning, I'm recording on September 25th, gave four free passes to my Sky Reader class. I've already given away 3 others in live contests for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter subscribers. And so this is exactly it. I'm not doing it to get, like give to get. It's just I am charitable right now, and I have the space to do that. So that's so funny. Take a moment to sit in silence and count the magnificent things you have in this life, fellow Aquarians, even if only the wondrousness of being given life itself. Reflect on the great Mother Earth, and ask yourself, what have I given back to her lately to heal her? Geez, I don't know. I recycle. I have to think of some more ideas. Then think of the higher vision of life and balance on this earth, and realize that the greatest gift you can give Mother Earth and fellow humans is your own enlightenment. And the 12th house is the full enlightenment, where R1 is sitting, flowing to this. Okay, I'll go with that too. Full enlightenment. In this way, you tear away the veils of ignorance and present the magnificence of your own being to everyone, fellow Aquarians, who experiences you. Everyone around you is uplifted and inspired. This is your offering. That's why I stopped doing the world astrology. It was creating fear, anger, blame, attack in my comments. It was getting people upset. If you want the world astrology, I'm writing about it at Substack, and people are 89% civilized over there. People are not trolling. It's an intelligent community of writers and readers. And so go check it out. And I decided, wait a minute, life's too short. Like, even if I can tell you what the future might hold, like, assassination of Trump and all that, just before it happened, or the death of the Pope. So what? Does that help your life? So I'm trying something new. If you like this kind of thing, share with your friends and family. Here's my outro. My mom passed away when I was 39. She was, hit by a car. And my sisters and I gathered at her house. I had to fly from the United States. I was living there at the time, to my hometown. We all got together, and my mom's passed. I'm there about a day and a half after she's passed, probably. And we're looking for the will. I don't know why we didn't think that maybe we should just call the lawyer's office, but we probably didn't know which lawyer she used, and see if we can find my mom's will. And my dad had passed 2 years before that. I know, it's 37, 39. And we knew she had a will because we know the lawyers made her make a will because she inherited my dad's stuff. So we're looking around my big house. I have 3 floors, 4 bedrooms, my mom and dad's house that I grew up in. It's not that big, but, and we're wandering around, and it's cold as F. My mother had the heat down for some reason, so the house is cold, and we're looking for the will, and we're looking everywhere you would think, in the drawers, in the cupboards, in the buffet. We're just thinking logically, we did finally look under pillows and the cushions, and we were desperate. And maybe after about 25 minutes of searching, we're all freezing because the heat was off in the house. And no one turned it on. It's winter. It's October. It's October 2nd, but in Northern Ontario, that's cold, right? It was pretty cold, probably like 40 degrees. We were looking and not finding. And then my sisters were upstairs looking, and they were, I was in the dining room by myself. And I said to my mom, because I knew her spirit was around me. I talked to dead people. Mom, we need help. Show us where The will is, please help us. Now I said, and I think I said to my mom, let's do hot, hot, cold, cold. That's the Easter egg hunt, when we were warm, she'd say hot, warm, warm, hot, hot, cold, cold. As we're getting closer or farther away from the Easter egg, she would hot, like chocolate Easter bunnies and stuff. My sister, so I think I said hot, hot, cold, cold. I'm not sure, but I said something to my mom, show me the way. And my sisters come running down the stairs. I'm the oldest, and they're like, Lori, we're spooked out. The heat's come on in Dad's room. Now, this is my dad's bedroom, has a separate heater for a baseboard, and the baseboard turning knob was off. So there was no heat. It wasn't supposed to be on, but suddenly the heat's blasting out of my dad's baseboard heater in his bedroom. He had passed away already. And so I said, it's Mom. She's telling us you're hot, hot. You're close to the will. So we all run back up to see if we can find the will in my dad's bedroom. I'm the one who found it. My sisters had both looked through my father's filing cabinet and hadn't seen it anywhere in there. And I just said, it's got to be in the room. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, I went into the filing cabinet and I decided to pull back the entire filing system so I could see what was behind it. So it wasn't in a file. My mom had tucked it behind all of the other files that had everything, a power of attorney, the will, all of that. And instead of being upset, my 3 sisters and I, because we were in a moment of, the elation of finding something you've been looking for, we all went, found the will, which is crazy, right? And then the heat in the bedroom turned off after we found the will. The heat went down and it was off again. And that's a true story. That's a ghost story. And I have many beautiful stories of my mom's talking to me and my dad after they died, in dreams, in signs, in amazing synchronicities. When people pass, they're not gone. They're still around. They're watching over us. The best they can until they don't think they need to do that anymore for whatever reason. So that's my story, guys. That's a ghost story. I hope you have, and it's coming up for October 22nd, the Halloween spirit. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. You're going to get this way ahead of October 22nd. So keep it in your mind as we get closer to that moment. Take care all. Bye-bye. Oh, I have to stop the share. Recording paused.